Hello, happy Saturday. Welcome to our final live stream for our Cat Academy Sneak Peek Week. All week, I've been giving you an inside look of Cat Academy and what I'm going to be offering your kids for the coming school year. And what we're going to do today is going to be a big wrap up of all the live streams you might have missed because as homeschool families, I put together some live streams that I feel like you would be interested in watching and would like to see. So we're going to go through those and then you'll be able to know which ones you might want to watch. They're all recorded on the Kids Art Tour Facebook page. You can just scroll down and they're going to be under this one here. And some of them are on my Rebecca Finch fine art class. And then I'm going to give you a very thorough but quicker overview of everything that I'm going to be teaching your kids this year in Cat Academy. So let's get started. We're going to do this first. Okay, so let's go through all the live streams that we went through. So Tuesday was our first day, and I thought it was important that you got to know me and got to know a little bit of our lives. This is my son Landon, you see in some of the pictures. He is now taller than me. He's 14. And we've been homeschooling for several years. And I'm not sure when he went into fourth grade, we started, and he is now in 10th and 11th. Isn't that a fun question to answer? What grade is your child in? It's so confusing to answer. Because of course he wants to answer the higher number. I'm like, well, I don't know. We're kind of in there. So anyway, so you can see the growth that has happened for these art exhibits. In each one, he is taller. So I go through some things that we might have in common, you and me, and with our kids. And then I let you in on all my experience teaching and doing art. I do have a master's degree in art, and I've been teaching for over 20 years and doing this art life for over 20 years. I've been a working artist, is what it's called. So I've been doing gallery shows and teaching and things like that. So I give you the rundown of that. So that was Tuesday's live stream. And then on Wednesday, I took you inside Cat Academy. I'm going to give you kind of the same today, but a lot faster. But at the end of this one, you might want to watch it. I was showing you what it would look like for the online classes. I know there probably is some concern about online classes being just as beneficial as in-person classes. Well, I think there's really pros and cons to both. And the great thing about the online classes is I'm going to use this camera and I'm going to be able to point at things. And I know that all your kids know exactly where I'm pointing and they can really get close and see what I'm doing. I'm going to have a camera pointed down at the table. And there's going to be a lot of times where I need to demonstrate for your kids the technique and what we're going to do. So they're going to be able to see me really, really well. So that part is great. And also in with the classes, there are going to be times that they're going to have time to work on their projects. And in person, I will go around to each child and help them personally with their project. I'm still going to be able to do that online because we're going to be over Zoom. And I will be able to check in with each child. I'm going to be able to talk to them. And beforehand, they can send me a photograph of their source and what they're working on. And we will do it that way. So I think the online classes will be really great. I've done online classes before and they've worked really well, but not over Zoom. So it's going to be even better. I can really talk to your kids individually while everybody else is working. So you can get a glimpse of that at the end of this live stream. And then Thursday, I did 2 evening live streams for the parents in hopes that you could get your kids to bed and enjoy the live stream. So this one was just tips for exploring art with your kids. The art history part, like where we are looking at art and we're critiquing it and we're enjoying it, or we're going to galleries. So I gave a lot of tips for discussion and ways to make it a really full experience. When we go to a gallery, what are some things that we can do while we're there to enhance the art? And if art is not your wheelhouse, if it's not something you're really comfortable doing, you might not know what to do and ask. But honestly, you're probably doing these things for other subjects that you're comfortable with. Just bring it into art. You don't need to know art history in order to get a full experience enjoying art. A lot of it is just you with the art and things you can think about and wonder about with the art. So we talk about that. I give some examples about some things that I do with the kids and like experiences that I have had while doing these things, and it just enriches the time there. I also give you some ideas for things you can do at home. So in the upper corner there, you can see the Japanese artwork. So there's a website you can go to, and they have a lot of information there. So you don't need to already know about our history to walk through these quick little things with your kids and just enjoy some art. So if that interests you, you'll want to check out Thursday's live stream. Again, it's down below this one if you want to watch that. And then Friday morning, that was yesterday. Was that yesterday morning? Yes, today's Saturday. I gave you a little art lesson. So you can gather the kids, you can sit down, and everyone can do this, parents as well. All you need is paper and pen. And we looked at some artwork of a pen and ink artist that I had discovered recently. And then we output. So we always intake something, we learn something, we're looking at the art, and I walk through a lot of the things that I discussed in the previous live stream about what we can do with the kids and how we can enjoy the art and experience the art. So I walk through that with this artwork. And then I did a little lesson. So we did a little pen and ink exercises, and then we tried to replicate what we saw. So I just kind of walk through the whole process so you can see what an online class would look like. So if that interests you, check out yesterday's live stream. Okay, so let's get into today's live stream. I'm going to give you a thorough but a quicker overview of what Cat Academy is and what you'll be experiencing when your child takes classes from me. So if this is something that interests you, and you can think of somebody else that might be interested, please share this video or the website. I am praying for 12 students. We are still holding at 3. And so you could help. I only have my circle of influence, and you have all of your homeschool communities and homeschool groups, and everyone's very connected. These classes go online, and they will be live online. So anywhere you share will be great. I really appreciate that. Okay, Cat Academy. What is it? Fine art classes for homeschoolers for the school year. So when you sign up, I will take care of the art for the year. You don't have to worry about it. Kids will meet with me every week, whether in person or online, and I will take them through this art journey. And in a little bit, you'll see everything that we're going to be learning. It's for ages 9 to 18, and I'll have a younger age group and an older age group. And the deepness of the difficulty of the projects, I would say, and how much time is needed will be appropriate for the ages. Online and in person, as I said, we're going to go from September to May, because up here in New York is where we live. Things kind of stop around May. Sometimes some groups go till June, but a lot of the people that I know, they're starting to take vacations in June. But if there are families that want to continue on into June, I will do that so we can tack on another month. And it will satisfy your homeschool requirements. I am confident of that because we live in New York, as I said, and it's one of the more regimented states. There's a lot more to do for homeschooling. Like in the beginning of the year, we have to turn in our plan, they have to approve it, and then we do quarterly reports. We tell them what we did and the grades, and then at the end, there's an assessment. So there's a lot to do, and then we also have to tell them hours. So there's requirements that need to be met. And this will meet New York State for the ages 9 to 18. So as they get older, especially if they do some outside of class time, if they work on their projects outside of class, then they'll more than meet the requirements for art. So again, I would love to do this for you and take this off your shoulders, because I know if art is not your thing, it can be really stressful to have to do a subject for your kids that you don't know anything about. And yeah. So let me do that for you. Okay, when are we meeting? So in person will be Thursdays and Fridays, and online will be Mondays. And it says here, please ask if you're wondering. So the reason we have a Friday class is because a mom asked, and now that class is starting to grow. So she said it couldn't come on Thursdays in person. She lives in the area, and they couldn't do Mondays online. Could you do Fridays? And so I was like, sure, let's try it. And so then the other mom that was signed up for Thursday moved over to Friday because that worked better for them. So just ask. And also, I'm open to teaching the same things to adults. If you've never had art and really, really want to try, you don't have to be an artist. Doesn't matter what skill level you're at. We start from the foundation. And if you are skilled, you've already had classes, then you will go further in each thing that we teach. And if you don't, then you'll go as far as you can go and you will learn. Okay. So your kids will learn. It doesn't matter where they're at. We are starting at the foundation. So go ahead and ask, and I will try to work something out for you. Okay. So let's talk about the plan, what we're going to be doing. Why are we doing drawing? Why are we not doing painting? I know it's really exciting for kids when they start in art. They usually want to get into the painting and that. So if we're going to do like a more fine art experience to where they are really learning representational art means that it's something you can recognize. We're not doing abstract. We are trying to replicate what we see and create something that we can see. So you need to start again at the foundation, which is drawing. When you get into color and you get into adding the medium, which would be like watercolor or oil, it just adds so many more variables and so many more things to learn. And you still, as an oil artist or watercolor artist, you're still having to do the things that you would be doing when you're drawing. You still need to think about proportion and values and edges and all of that, composition, all of that. Plus, now you have to figure out the materials, how to work with this liquid. And you wouldn't think that watercolor is that difficult, but it really is. You have to think about um, how much paint to water and then what it's going to do. Like everything changes. Um, so, and then your brushes and then oil is just like oof, a lot. And color mixing is a lot as well. So I really, really want to pare all of that back so that they're really just focusing on the drawing. And it's a relaxing medium. Um, Sometimes with painting, like you put a stroke down and like, oh, if it's not what you want, it's kind of done. But drawing is a slow process. And when we get into smooth tone, it's a slow, deliberate process. And it can be very relaxing. There's no rush to it. You can erase. So it's just the perfect way to start. And when I started in college, I didn't pick up a brush till I was in my sophomore year. They had us a year of drawing. First semester was just with the pencils, and second semester was with other drawing medium, which we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So that's why just the drawing, and we're not doing painting. So we're going to start sketching from life. And I understand some students might have already had sketching classes. This is something that you will continue doing. I am still sketching. This is something like foundational. It's kind of like if you are taking music lessons, sorry, and you're doing your scales and you're doing your exercises. Growing up, I had a book just for exercises. It was nothing I was going to perform, but it was needed to get my muscles going, get my brain going, and just to warm up and to get dexterity in my fingers. There's a lot that the practicing does, and that's what sketching is for drawing and any art. It doesn't matter what medium you're going to go into. Sketching is like the lifeblood of all the things you're going to be able to do. It's a good foundation. So it's a lot of brain work when you're doing when you're sketching objects from life. So the difference is if I've got, we'll just pretend this is a photograph of an actual item. It's a lot easier to draw from a photograph than it is from something that's actually right there. And that's what I mean when I say sketching from life. It means the object is right there with me. Your brain has to do a lot more work when it's right in front of you. And I go into that in the other class. So if you the other live stream. So if you want more detail, you can watch that one as well. But it's just really good practice. We will probably learn sketching, do it before a lot of our classes just to get warmed up. It's just a great thing to do. Um, then we add value. Again, another foundational skill, judging lights and darks and where they fit in with each other. A lot more brain work. I teach them how to squint, and it will simplify the values. So we will keep going and doing this throughout the year. And then once they get really good with that, we're going to add some really tricky subjects. We've got flowers with all the petals. I may have them sketch my nest because it's really detailed. But if you squint and you do the things that I'm sharing with them, it will simplify it and they'll be really good at doing these things. And we're going to do books and fabric. Like use, oh, one side that you see here, fabric and patterns on items, very tricky and it can be intimidating. So we're just going to go through, head towards those difficult subjects and eliminate the intimidation so that their confidence will grow. So, and then, so after we're doing the sketching and we do it throughout, we will also be doing value scales, which is a project for, we're going to do it for each medium we do. We did a little value scale on yesterday morning just to try out pen and ink, and it's to master your materials. It's not that they have to draw anything, it's just paring back even more things that they have to think about. With these, all they're thinking about is getting their, whatever they're using, pen and ink or pencil or charcoal, getting their medium to do what they want it to do, for one. And then two, they are learning how to judge values, place them where they need to be. There's percentages that they need to hit with each of those squares. And then the long rectangle is a smooth gradation. And there's a lot of learning that can be done with something. It's a simple concept, but it's not easy to do. So we will take time to do that. So I'm looking forward to these projects because it will really help them in their skills. Moving on to our nicer projects. I'm going to teach them how to do smooth tone, which is not just shading. Shading is like this. Smooth tone is a really deliberate shading and making sure that everything is nice and smooth, just like the name. So the value scales are projects to master your materials, and this will do the same thing, but then you're adding the component of now we have to draw things in proportion and we have to measure things, which the sketching is really going to lay a foundation for. It'll make it easier for them to judge proportions and correct drawing. So these projects are going to be kind of slow. They're going to have to be patient and work on something for a long period of time. And they will also give them the opportunity to have good attention to detail and good presentation and to follow the directions. Because I will say you need a 2-inch border on this one or a 1-inch border, depending on what we're doing. I might want the area to be smaller so it doesn't take them as long. So they're going to have to follow directions. They're going to have to draw a nice border so that it's good presentation. I'm going to show them how to flap their work. And we'll show you what that is. So we use the tracing paper to go over the work. And there's a way to do that. So just simple things like that I learned. And I will show them exactly how to do that. Then after we do drawing for a while, we will be venturing out into other medium. So we're doing charcoal. This is a white pencil on a black board. We're going to do another value scale for this, and then they're going to do smooth tone with the charcoal. We're going to do charcoal in this way. So the gray that you see is actually the board. So they'll have a white pencil and a black pencil, and they will have to work on that value scale. And when it gets to that percentage, that 50% or so of the darkness, to let the board come through. So it's a really interesting thing to do with your brain. It's an easy concept, but when you go to do it, it's hard to just let the board be as it is. So this is a really good project to do for that. We might do 1 or 2 projects in this way. Then we're also going to do conte. It's a lot like charcoal, but it's colored. So the board is the peachy color, and you can see how much of the board is showing and how little is needed on the face to show that it's a face and all the features. So one more project. Okay, and then we're going into pen and ink, which I'm really looking forward to. These 2 projects you can see are stipple. It's the dots. And so we're going to use micron pens, these pens here, and they all have different sized tips. So you have some really, really tiny ones and some big ones. So again, you see the value scale there and how you can get light to dark with the ink pens, the black ink. There's also, so this is stipple that you see, that's the dots. We will also do hatch, which is just lines, and then cross hatch. And then we'll do line like directional line. So I'm looking forward to this. We're going to talk about the old illustrators during this time. Gibson, remember do you know the Gibson girl with the big hair around the 1920s? 1910s, around there, before the flappers got it, and uh, the flapper style and Art Deco and all that. So we're going to look at him and the old illustrators like that were in the Nancy Drew book, the line drawings. We're going to look at all those. So we're going to integrate the art appreciation as we go, which I really, really enjoy. And it's going to deepen their experience. They're going to be so inspired. So we're going to talk about art appreciation later. Maybe it's next. I don't know. But anyway, so pen and ink is coming up, and that will be a really fun section. So in addition to all these things, there will be principles of art, and this is one of them. So learning the shadows. So as you look at that ball, and you can see it if there's a bowl on the table. I've seen it for pumpkins. We were sketching pumpkins once with one of my other classes. You will see a dark shadow come all the way through because you've got the light shining on the object really bright, and then the light bounces off the table and comes back up underneath the item. And so when you have strong light here and a little reflected light here, if you squint at the ball, you can see it. And then that dark band comes through where they don't really meet. So things like that are really good for them to look for. Look for those things. And if you see it, put it in. It'll really enhance your drawings. And then they're going to do a project on it. This is the charcoal again on some toned paper. I'm also going to do perspective with them. If you want to see perspective, you will want to look at, I think it's Wednesday night's live stream. The end of that live stream, I gave a little demonstration to show you how the online classes will work. And we did some perspective. So I just show you how you can make buildings and a scene. So we're going to do some projects on that. You can also do interiors like that. So just by following these simple rules, you can make a ton of stuff. They can make cars, anything they can really think of. You can put in perspective and make a really cool drawing. So we're going to do that. And some additional things we're going to be throwing in. Gesture sketching, which is sketching people. And we're going to talk about fur and hair, which is really another tricky thing that could bring intimidation. So what I like to do, we just head toward the thing that we feel intimidated about, and we spend some time doing it, and then that goes away. So in my other class, I teach a Wednesday class to some artists, a wonderful group of people. So if I hear anyone say, "Oh, I'm really bad at that," or "Oh, that really is, I don't think I can do that," then we're going to do some lessons on that. So kind of like, oh, that intimidates you? Well, let's do more of that. So there's a sweet lady in our group, and rocks was her thing. She had someone said something to her, I think it was a teacher, about how she drew rocks, and it has just caused a lot of intimidation and just very unsureness about it. So when she shared that, one of the few next weeks, I brought in a box of rocks, and we shaded them and we drew them. So we just go right into it. And later on, she had another painting she was doing, and it had a stream with some rocks in it. So I encourage her to just do some sketching. So go toward the thing that is difficult, and then you're going to eliminate that intimidation. It's going to be gone, or you're going to feel better about it. And then that's one less thing to feel like you can't do. We're going to do sighting and measuring. That will really help with their more fine-tuned fine art projects. And discuss fabric, like I said. Fabric is tough. Patterns on things is tough because we feel like we've got to get it all in. But I will teach your kids how to simplify it. Like I said before, we're also doing art history. I will show them some art. We will connect with it. We will learn about it. They will learn how to critique art. So when they go to a gallery, if we look at a piece of art, how do we critique it? Like, what are the steps? Like, what do we do? What does it even mean? We are going to discuss. There's going to be some artwork that has symbolism that art historians still don't know exactly what it is. So we will discuss it, come up with our opinions. There's some art that's got some scandal, art that has been stolen, art that we're not sure if it's really by this certain artist, but yet it got auctioned off as that. And so there's a lot of juicy things that we're going to talk about. And I think it will just enhance the art. They will connect with the art. And if we do anything that also, if we cover art or an artist that is in a gallery near them or a museum near them, when they go, it's going to feel like they're meeting a celebrity. It really is very special. When they learn about something, they do a project about it, and they get really connected, and then they actually go get to see it in person. It's just really wonderful. So we're going to do that. How to visit a gallery museum, how to critique art. We already said that. Okay, what is the class routine? So the beginning will be either some art history. It won't be all of these things because we had a lot to get to, depending on what we're doing for the day. We're definitely going to do some sketching a lot of the days. So just to get them all warmed up, a couple minutes of sketching, get those scales in. And then depending on what we're doing again, if I need to introduce something to them, we're going to have a lesson. I'm going to give them a demonstration. I'm going to show them what we're doing. And then they're going to have time working on their projects. There'll be times they come in, we're in the middle of a project, they know what we're doing. I might do art history and then give them time to work. And while they are working on their projects, I will go around to each student and give them one-on-one time and help them in any way that I can. And then that's the same for the online classes. And throughout, I know the classes are a little bit long. So especially the young kids, if we need a break, I've got Pictionary, I've got other art things for us to do, a little games that will be educational and fun and give them brains a break from doing what we're doing. And then we can go back to working hard on the things. So we will balance it out, and it'll be very fluid. Like I will just see that, oh, we need to do something. So we'll make a switch, we'll do it, and then we'll come back to our work. So what will your child learn overall? Foundational artistic skills needed for all representational mediums. What does that mean? It means they're going to learn the foundations that they're going to use no matter what art medium they want to try. Maybe in a couple years, they're going to be doing watercolor. Their watercolor experience will be better and easier because of all this foundational work of seeing, observing, sketching, getting it down. Values, you need values are really important. I think values are more important than color mixing properly. So these are things that they're going to use whatever direction they go into, even computer art, digital art, all of that. So they're going to use this in all art mediums. They're going to learn patience. They're going to exercise patience to follow through. Some of these projects are going to take some time. They're going to have to be slower and shade and work hard to get proportions right before they start shading. So they're going to learn that. We talked about good presentation, how to do those borders really good, how to flap their work, how to present it well. And then art history and appreciation and following directions. We already talked about that. So it's just going to be a full experience for them in all different areas. A lot of brain work, observation. They're going to be seeing things that they didn't see before because they've spent time looking. The benefits: increase observational skills, obviously. They're going to grow in huge confidence because we're going to plow forward into the things that maybe intimidate them, into difficult subjects. So we're going to work on those and eliminate that intimidation. With the art history, they're going to connect with the artist's work. They're going to become inspired by them because a lot of the artists have some really interesting stories. For instance, Monet brought in the Impressionist art movement. And I think it was him and a group of artists, but he was like one of the first ones, and they were not accepted well. Yet they kept going. And if they had listened to the critics, the people saying that it wasn't real art, we would be missing out on this entire art movement, which I'm loving the Impressionist art movement more and more. It's just gorgeous art. And no, it's not refined and perfect, but we don't need that all the time. It's like a celebration of colors and an impression of what we're seeing. And I really love it. And I'm so thankful that they pushed forward and didn't listen to the critics. So things like that your kids will grab onto and be inspired by the artists' lives. Endless inspiration through art history. When you look at something new, it's an input and something beautiful. Oh, wow, I love that so much. And it inspires them to then output. You've got to input art, you've got to input beauty, And then from there, then you can do art. So if I'm ever feeling dry or uninspired or just like really, I don't know what to do, I have to listen to music I've never heard before. There's a main street, Market Street near us in Corning, that is so beautiful with the trees and the buildings. And I can walk through there, take a walk in nature, go to a museum, look at art. There's all kinds of things you can input that's beauty and things that, oh, that's so pretty. I love that. It doesn't always have to be art, that will fill you. And then you're ready. Then you're ready to output and create. So we will be doing that for them. And then treasured memories. So I'll talk about this in a few minutes, but it doesn't matter if your child really wants to pursue another career. They don't have to go into art for this to be a really special part of their childhood. And I had a comment from a mom like last week, and I'll share it with you in a few minutes about her kids that I had taught many years ago. I can't remember what year it was. It might have been, I don't even know, 2010 maybe? It was before 2010. So, and just hearing what the art had done for them, it's it's a place for them to create, to gain the confidence, and to develop some loves for art and these other paintings and things like that. And it just becomes a really special time in their lives. Okay, so cost a typical art class. So I scan the interwebs for you. Typically 25 an hour, 20 to 25 an hour for arts and crafts, not a fine art class. Your child goes, they do a little art. Um, so that's about the range that I'm finding. 35 to 80 for an hour of fine art in a group. So kind of what we're doing, but maybe less rich, because I really feel like this is going to be stellar. That's the word that comes to mind. I want to make it wonderful full experience for them to where they leave class so ready to just ready for the day, ready to see things, ready to do more art and try new things. And then 50 to 150 hour of one-on-one mentoring. That's me with one person. So Cat Academy offers the longer classes. We're doing an hour and a half in person, an hour and 15 minutes online. I have 20 years of art experience. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been working as an artist. I've been in galleries. I've been doing group shows. I've been teaching for over 20 years. Kids, teens, adults, drawing, painting, art appreciation. I've done a lot of it. So I'm ready to do this for your kids. Um, they will be receiving a fine art education. This is not arts and crafts. This is the real deal. This is things I learned in college as an art major. Okay, not just an art appreciation class. This was the career that I had chosen, and these are the classes that I took. And they prepared me to do what I'm doing. So this is what your child is going to be getting. And they also are going to get regular one-on-one instruction. While we have time to work, I'm going around to each child. Online will be the same. Everyone's working, and I am talking with your child for as long as they need to get what they need. And also, I'm available outside of class time. I'm going to do something, I believe it'll be the Google Classroom, to where we can communicate. They can send me a picture and ask me a question if they're struggling with something. I'm always going to be available as much as I can. So as soon as I see something, I will respond. So they will have my support throughout. So the cost for in-person is $35 a class for an hour and 30 minutes. So I bill that out 32 classes and then divide it by the 9 months. So it's $124 a month. If you have an additional sibling, I'll take it down to $99. So I think that works out to be like $27 a class for the additional sibling. And online, it's only $25 a class. It's an hour and 15 minutes. And then for the 32 classes. So that takes it to $88 a month and $70 for additional siblings. And I think that makes it's just under $20 a class for the additional sibling, which $20 a class, you're going to be getting arts and crafts, very simple things. You're not going to be getting all the art appreciation. You won't be getting the one-on-one time or availability throughout the week. So I'm really trying to give you as much value as I can. It's impossible for me to go less than 100% on things. I go way, way, way more. And I just want it to be as great of an experience for your kids and give them everything that they need. In addition to that, in October, I'm offering a auto pay option. I couldn't do it now because of the way the website works. There's no way to delay the next payment. So in October, I'm going to offer the auto pay. If you want to do it, it's 10% from then on for everything. 10% off of the additional student, um, 10% off of everything. So that will work out to be three free classes for the whole year if you want to enroll in that. So that helps you out a little bit more. I also have some student gifts. So if you enroll this week, I made these little notebooks and I don't have them with me. They're being shipped right now, but here's a picture of what they're going to look like. Cute little notebooks. So we have some painting on there and drawing. And then if you look real close, you'll be able to see the girl with the pearl earring on the black and white one. She's on the aqua one too. And Mona's on the aqua one. So we have a little bit of art history there so they can enjoy. Okay, let's take a little trip to my website. And I'm going to go down here. Okay, so if you click the link on this video, it takes you straight to the page I'm going to go to. But if you get out, this is my home page for my website. You can get to the classes this way, although you have to click a couple more times and go down here to art classes. Or you can scroll down a little bit and click here and you will get straight to the page. So this is the page that I'm sending you to because you have the two options, in person and online. So let's click on online because I imagine most of you will be needing online. So here is the breakdown. So you have all the information. The deadline for online is August 25th. I backed it up a little bit because I don't need as much time to get the room ready. So I can have a little bit less time. We have the dates, the times right here. Location is over Zoom, the cost and everything, and how payments will be done. And I also have a calendar for you so that you can see all the dates. Now, if we come to, I know April is kind of funny, so we can discuss April. If everyone's going to be gone by, I don't know. If everyone is leaving town or can't, we will shift classes around, but as long as, the group is good. So anyway, these are, the dates. And if you print this out, then you have this and the times, so you will always know what's happening. We've talked about all of this, the things your child will learn. I've got some reviews. I've got some really kind reviews from moms who have taken some classes from, or the kids have taken classes from me. And online here, this is what we're going to be able to see. I will have the setup. They will see me sketch. I'm going to be able to demonstrate for them just like I would in person. We do talk about supplies. There are some supplies, just a few needed in the beginning of the school year. And then later on, I will give you a heads up as to what we need and where you can get it, things like that. I've tried to make it really simple. A lot of the things you can get at Hobby Lobby at 40% off if you hit the right week. And I will try to let you know about that too. You can check the sale paper. If it's not on sale this week, it will be on sale next week, for instance. Michael's also. And then I go into specifics. Here's some links for you to find the supplies. I'm going to make it as easy as I possibly can for you, and not crazy supplies, just the basics. And with drawing, it's not a lot as opposed to the painting. And I have some examples here so you can see. And then we have a discussion over missed classes, cancellations, what happens, and just some other questions you might have. Please just ask. For instance, if you have two kids and you want them both to take, but one goes in one age group, one goes in the other, can they take together? Yes, we'll work something out. I will work something out for you if you have a question. Yeah. And then down here, some more credentials. So you see that I am a working artist. I've been in the field for many years. I've been teaching for many years. So I have a little video. I'm just going to play it for you. I'm going to take the sound down. The sound was really loud and I don't know why. So I'm going to play it for you. And this gives you an idea of my teaching style, as well as, I mean, these are actual classes. These are classes I didn't teach over Zoom. It's the same way I'm teaching right now where I couldn't see my students. These classes will be different. I will be able to see and talk to your kids. But this gives you an idea of the teaching that your child will be receiving. So today we're going to be talking about negative shapes. We want to be positive about negative shapes. So what is a negative shape? First, let's talk about what a positive shape is. A positive shape is the actual thing that you're drawing. I'm drawing a mug, and I'm drawing these shapes related to the actual object. A negative shape are the shapes created by the space around your object. This is a negative space. Let me put it there. So this is a shape. This is a shape, but because of this positive shape, this negative space is created, and it makes a shape of its own. And so it ends up being like puzzle pieces. And while you're drawing, you can be focused on the positive shapes, but also if it's really tricky or you want to check your work, you can focus on the actual shape that's being made by the positive shapes. My brain knows that this is a circle, but when I have it, let me try to get it closer. When I have it on a table, it's not a circle anymore, is it? It's an oval. So that's where I kind of have to forget what my brain is telling me about this object. And I just have to look at the shapes that it's being made. But can you see the opening is a circle? I know it is, it really is. But if I'm going to draw this sitting on the table and I draw the top of this as a circle, it's going to look off. If I draw this bottle like really big and high, and then I draw this one as it is, they're not in proportion. It's like they're not to scale. They don't relate to each other the way they do in real life. So we're going to talk about how to do two objects in proportion to each other, like they relate to each other actually as they are. So if you hang your fabric from one point, you will see pipe folds start forming. You can see the pipes like right here and here. When you go to bed tonight, you're going to see all the folds on your sheets and your pillows. Wait, you're both doing it. I know. This is the chaos that Landon has said we're going to do. We're both going to draw a drawing, I think different things, and you're going to have to guess what we're both drawing. When you're stacking books, you start to get these triangular shapes. And this one's a little different. This is a different shape here. This is a triangular shape. It's a little bit connected to this one, and then you'll have one back there and one back there. So using those shapes, just looking at those as triangles will help you as well. You can find angles within the curves and simplify, at least just the general direction. I'll see you on the interwebs. Bye, everybody. All right, so today we're going to be talking about an idea of what the online classes will look like. Let's go back to this. So hopefully you can find your way to the website. You can click the link in the description of this video and get straight there. But if you get popped out into my homepage, that's how you get through. So just a couple more things before we wrap up our very last live stream of the week. So there's still time to register your child. Contact me if you have any questions. You can message me here on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can message me through my website. I will work something out. If you have a question or a need, I will work something out. Please just ask. So these classes, I don't know if you can feel it, but they're more than just art classes. Your child will learn so many more things and more things about themselves, how to work hard and be diligent and do good presentation and all of that. So I posted about the classes a couple weeks ago on a homeschool page, and this was a comment one of the moms put on there. And of course, she was very pleased with the classes, but the thing I want you to see is her adult children are in college. One of her daughters had just got their doctorate. So they are off in the world pursuing other things, medical field, technical field, I believe. They're not doing art, but It was such an important part of their childhood. The only thing my son specifically requested to see from all his years of schooling as I went through things this summer was his artwork. My daughter went on to connect with an art community online, producing and selling art just for the fun of it. They went on and enjoyed it so much. So that I didn't know that till a couple weeks ago. And it just made my heart so happy that something we had done together that I thought was really important actually was. Like it became a wonderful memory for them and connection point with art and love for art and just for themselves. Like I was really proud of my work. I was really proud of what I did. I feel confident about what I did. And so this is a picture of my son. So when I worked at 171, I was just doing art appreciation with the kids. So we would spend time with art. We would learn some art history, and then we would do a project, a craft based on that. And I did a group of lessons on glass artists. Well, one of them was, of course, Tiffany, Shule, and this one was Frank Lloyd Wright with his stained glass windows. And these are what's called the bubble windows. So we did this, we did a project, and then after it was all done, I took Landon to CMOG and we looked around because CMOG, sorry, if you don't live here, it's the Corning Museum of Glass. So they had works by Shule, they had works by Tiffany and Frank Lloyd Wright, and I think others. I'm blanking on the others that we did each week. But then when we saw those pieces, after learning about them, there were some techniques. For instance, Tiffany was experimenting with glass, had an oopsie, like, oh, I didn't mean that to happen. And it ended up being this new look for glass. It had a metallic look to it. Didn't mean to. He was just doing some things, trying some things out, and it became like really famous. So they have some of those there. So when you see the artwork after learning about it, it's so special. So we felt like we were seeing celebrities, which I had mentioned before. So the thing about homeschooling, we choose to homeschool for many, many reasons. And one of them I really think is that we want to provide a higher education for our kids, more quality things. We want the freedom to do cool things for our kids that are in the direction of their interests or the direction of things that we feel like are really good for them. And I believe Cat Academy is that. It will be a rich experience. It will be a college level class in the information and what we're doing. It will be pared down for their age, but I think it will be a really special time for your kids, a really special thing for them. Another comment I got from a mom recently was her son did take a watercolor class from me, landscapes, and said that his passion grew, his interest and his passion grew. And that's what happens when you do the art and the creative things. And we just have a good mixture of fun and learning. And I think that's so crucial. The learning is really crucial, really actual facts, things about these artists, things about this is how you do this. Let me show you. We're going to do this, and it's real technical. And then we have fun later too. So it's just a perfect mix. So if this sounds good to you, please share with your homeschooling group, with your friends. I would love to have 12 students. It would be a blessing to me and a blessing to those kids who get to learn these things. So please share with your homeschool group and go to the website and check us out. And let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to seeing you, and I'm thinking about doing some more live stream lessons up until our class time. So the deadline is August 20th for in-person, 25th for online. And if you sign up for this week, you get those cute little notebooks as well. So please share, and we will see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday.